What's up? Oh, I forgot to put him in. What's up, everybody?
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Silver Sunday. I'm trying to dig the crackers and bread out of my teeth. As my colleagues can attest, I just finished scarfing down food. So it always seems to happen that way on a Sunday night.
Yeah, that's why I was a few minutes late joining in, eating myself. Or not eating myself, that would be kind of...
Welcome, everyone, to this Silver Sunday. And tonight, we're going to talk about fans and fandom. Oh, wait, can y'all hear me? My microphone's way over there. So yeah, we'll spend a couple minutes introducing ourselves. I'm Roland. I am the chief cook and bottle washer here at Silverline. I write Cat and Mouse, Trump's Silverline Team Up. You might see some of that stuff tonight from our artist. Hopefully. So that's me. Curtis, tell people who you are.
Sure, I'm Curtis Fujita. I'm the creative director at Silverline. I'm also a martial arts instructor, and I'm combining those two things. I'm doing my comic book, Shadow Ghost. It's the Kung Fu comic by a Kung Fu master. So that's me.
I love that tagline. And I'm trying to figure out how to share on Facebook, especially in light of the. So I figured out why we couldn't stream. Did I announce why we couldn't stream last week to Facebook?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something
I'm not
sure.
So what was it?
I'm not sure whether I announced that live while we were on stream or not.
I think you did. I think you did.
But yeah, my account got restricted.
What'd you do?
Well, I posted a meme in 2016. I posted a meme that was just silly. It wasn't political or racist or anything like that. It was just silly. And they removed it. Well, I took a screenshot of the removal notice and posted that. And I think that made them mad.
But how long ago did you do that?
Oh, the original
screenshot.
meme. The screenshot was last week.
6 years
Yeah,
ago.
well, that would do it.
It was last Friday, yeah. So I can still go on there, and it says your account is restricted, and it says no one can see this but you. And so my account is still restricted, but don't tell them. We figured out a way around it. It's a strange. But my account is restricted, so yeah, it was pretty funny. It was a goofy, silly meme, and I just I'm not really sure why they restricted my account for that, but oh well, we live in a new day and age. Mm-hmm. Tommy, tell people who you are.
My name is Thomas Flormonte. I've been doing comics since the early 90s. Currently for Silverline, I am doing working on the Trump's book, working on the Team Up book, doing the Christmas stuff, several other little projects here and there. And besides that, I do my own Kid Hero books, the Little Nan So-So, the Zomboy books, and I'm also the co-owner of Kablam Digital Printing. So I stay pretty busy.
Yes, and if you've been around me when Tommy does his spiel, you know that I am a fan of Zomboy.
Zomboy.
Tommy knows that too.
Just like Trump's doesn't have anything to do with the president stuff, Zomboy doesn't have anything to do with zombies.
Zombies.
So. That's right.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a big zombie fan, it doesn't have anything to do with zombies. It was more of a everybody knows that I like zombie type horror stuff. So back in the day, they caught me renting, like, I don't know, I had back when you could rent movies and stuff. I came home with about 5-6 zombie movies, and they go, "What's up, Zomboy?" And I'm like,
"Wait, is that the origin of the name, really?"
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's great.
Like Homeboy, there was like Zomboy. Yeah. It was like that, Beastie Boys kind of thing. And I'm like,
so why isn't it spelled Zomboi? Zomboy.
No, it's got to change because it's zombie. Because it's like superhero like Batman. It's like some boy, man boy, that's that kind of thing.
Right.
But you're right, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm going to change it now. Now it's got to change. Golly,
Yeah,
got to
that
start
can
over
be
again.
that can be the new revised Zomboy.
Boy. Yeah.
Roberta,
That
tell
was
people
it.
who you are.
Hi, I'm Roberta Conroy. I'm just a colorist. You know,
Touche.
what am I gonna say? Coloring Cat and Mouse, and the Silverline Team Up Champion Miss Fury we just finished.
Yep.
And doing a special Christmas special that we'll talk about later.
And you know what? Talking about the Silverline team up, I am just slightly upset.
Oh, no.
What?
No, because
What did this do this time?
no one.
What we do?
No, y'all didn't. No, nothing. Absolutely zero. Anything from y'all. It's the people who got the Kickstarters. I haven't heard from anybody about whether they liked them or not. Or
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of like thinking, wait. If you like them, you should say something so that we know, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We put a lot of effort into
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
I know.
What about Bear?
They're happy.
Bear? Or neither of the books?
No, neither of the books. It's like,
are we sure that you checked the shipping? Did everybody get their?
everybody's got them.
All right.
Well, okay. No. I should not. So there's one fella. I won't say his name because he gives me permission. He's in Hawaii. That the last time I checked, his package had not gotten to him yet, but everybody else had their packages. So
then they don't have an excuse. I want to know.
That right? Yes.
I
So
wanna know.
me too. It's like I want to know. Right. Stephen Brown says hi. He says the day has finally come. I can finally reveal my comic. Woo!
Oh.
That's
Nice.
excellent news.
Good.
He said it's called Crypts and Legends, and after such a long wait, I'm happy to finally reveal it. And it's on Indiegogo now until the 20th. So, Stephen, I'm giving you the invitation permission. If you're seeking it, please post the link here so that everyone can see. You are almost as regular as all of us. So
me lately for sure.
So folks have certainly seen you talking about it. So please post a link so folks can go see it. My father-in-law says hello, big dummy. What's up, Screw Loose? Jackson Renick says that happened to you. That happened to me too a couple of times. Really, Jackson? I don't ever see you post anything like contentious or political either. It's like, what the heck?
I have tried to get banned on Facebook by saying stuff, and they just ignore me. So,
well, why don't I give you the meme that I use then?
I should try it to see if it works. I just want to see it happen. I don't publish it or put a lot of bad stuff out there, but I do a lot of every now and again talk about Corona and and this that and calling people crazy and stuff, and just to try to stir the pot, and nothing. I don't get anything. I guess I don't piss off enough people. I need to start making more people mad, I guess.
That's not a good thing, though.
Right.
I don't really want to be on that list.
So for those of you who don't know, Jackson is a penciler, an artist, I should say, and he has done all kinds of stuff, but he also has correct me if I'm wrong, he's got 2 stories in the upcoming Christmas special.
Oh, cool.
Jackson has drawn 6 pages. So they're all 6 pages. So whenever I say a story, they're all 6 pages. So he did the Silver Storm story, and he also did the White Devil story. So
it was really cool.
Nice.
Excuse me. Yeah. That's right. And Roberta colored.
And I colored it. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. So we're anxious for you to see those also. Jackson says Facebook's algorithm doesn't get sarcasm, Tommy.
No.
You gotta be pretty straightforward, I think, and call somebody out for something, and then I think it's really how many times you get you get turned in. I don't think it's the things that you say. I think it's people turning you in.
So you think what happened to me is that people turned me in then?
That's what I forget who it was today. Somebody had wrote that they signed up with another name just so they could post things. Yeah, I know y'all may have saw that one. So I wrote them asking them how they got suspended, and they said it's because they got turned in so many times. So he thought it was more of not what he said, but who he pissed off, that kind of thing.
So I was gonna say, so who the heck's turning me in then?
I don't know. You're back. I don't know what's going on.
I don't get it.
Chris probably did it.
Jack says, "Sit your pin up for White Devil, nice." For the we haven't really talked about it because we're still in the middle of the Christmas special. But following the Christmas special, we are going to crowdfund. This is October. In November, we're going to crowdfund Twilight Grim #3 and White Devil #1. So we are
Cool.
Nice.
And Infrafan says, "Congrats on the Christmas special being funded. Thank you so much."
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We are excited about that. We want to keep going because there's the stories are so much fun. And I think folks are really going to like them. And then he says, "Snitches get stitches." The thing about it is, I don't know who reported me. So, assuming that it was reported and not some. I mean, I can't think of any reason for Facebook police to be monitoring my account because I really only talk about. Now, I guess maybe if you go back years ago before it was such a terrible thing to have an opinion.
Yeah.
I probably
exactly
had some stuff, but R2D2 for life says ban Rolling Man.
Oh, come now. That will hurt.
I'll remember that the next time I send you books. Look at this. What the heck? Brett says, "Hey, you hogging the Doritos over there?" I don't have the Doritos over here. Wait, what did you do with them? I bet we left them in the vehicle. Go get them, Brett. Hashtag Rolling Ban. Oh, all right. You guys are getting carried away. The R2D2, you mean Rolling Ban, BANN.
Oh.
All right. So, who's going to share some art first?
I don't know. You want Christmas special?
Yeah.
You do?
Nice.
Yeah.
I got Christmas special. I just started working on Demon's Tale, page 3.
Nice.
Cool.
Yes.
You know what? You saw the Red Rider. That, of course, if you don't know, and especially since he posted, that's my son, right? I just heard the front door because he went looking for the Doritos.
Oh my goodness!
And so we dropped Mama off at the airport today. Brittany's having surgery, so Mama is on the way to. No, actually, she's already there. She's in Nashville now, so that she can be with her for her surgery. And so on our way home, we stopped and got I needed more gold in my car, so I had to pour some gold in there. And so while we were at Costco, we decided to run in and get a few things. Believe it or not, they're out of toilet paper again.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are.
Wow.
So what we've been hearing, BJ and I've been hearing rumors about there may be another toilet paper run, and I don't know. So, but I went in to get some today, and they didn't have any. So we came out with Doritos instead.
Well,
Gotta do it.
a big difference. I don't even know what to say. I came in for toilet paper, came out with Doritos.
All right, what do you share? Roberta, share.
I'm working on the share. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just have to get my tablet arranged.
All right, so
momentarily.
Share.
I promise. It's coming.
I'll pop it up there. Okay, so update on Kickstarter. So the only we're in the middle of the Christmas special. So please continue to share that. We'd like to kick that thing up. I tried to add. What did I do with it? I added up the number of backers for both Indiegogo and on Kickstarter, and I think I ended up we were right about 60, I think, something like that. And I feel this thing should have 200 backers. There's so much fun here. This thing should have 200 backers. So you guys share it around to people who like comic books, who like Christmas. This could be a Christmas gift for you. It could be a Christmas gift for someone else. It's going to look good under your Christmas tree. You know what? Let's just should we run our little yeah, let's run it. Yeah. It's not that long. We'll go ahead and run that. Let me get to it here. All right, so here's our little Christmas thing. Santa Claus even stepped in for us.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! It's Santa Claus, and I'm here to tell you about some Silverline crowdfunding stuff. You know Silverline. They're the comic book company that's an independent, genre-spanning, you know Silverline! They're getting ready to do one of my favorites. It's a Christmas special. Ho, 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 ho! You're going to see some of your classic old favorites of Silverline that you like Bear, and Cat and Mouse, and Divinity, and Demon's Tales, and Kalis, and Rochelle, and Teen Beetle, and Trumps, and Twilight Grim. But you're also going to see some new titles. You'll be introduced to them for the first time. Cake Town, Night Rise, Obsoletes, Satin's Ways, White Devil, and Wolf Hunter. That's right, all those are new to you. New to me too. I'm so ready for them. Christmas is my favorite time of year. You're going to see some of your favorite Silverline creators like Del Barris, Aiden Belcher, Mike Belcher, Mickey Clausen, Peter Clinton, Roberta Conroy, Brian Dale, Rob Davis, Thomas Floramonte, Thomas Hedgeland, Aaron Humphreys, R.A. Jones, Barb Kalberg, Jeremy Kahn, Brent T. Larson, Roland Mann, Haley Martin, John Medic, and Jackson Renick. Ho, 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 ho! But you know what? There's also a bunch of new names for you Silverline fans. That's right. People like Dante Berry, Quinn Bedwell, Jim Diaglue, J.W. Franklin, Ron Fortier, you know his name, Jose Fuentes, Cassisi Harris, Richard June, Les Loker, Henry Martinez, and Tim TK. That's right. It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be big. Oh, ho, 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 ho. So make sure you pledge to the Silverline Christmas special now. It'll get to you in time for Christmas. It'll look good wrapped up under your tree or in your Christmas stocking. Ho, ho, ho! Make mine Silverline! Wait, that was supposed to be Merry Christmas.
Okay.
So we thank Santa Claus for popping in and doing a little video for us here. He we noticed that he hadn't quite grown his full beard out yet, and so true confessions here. If you paid attention that closely to the words and stuff, there were two names on the screen that I didn't read. So part of what happens is I'm sitting here making the video or against the screen, and BJ has the camera across the room, and right up under the camera she has my list taped to the stand, and so usually I can kind of look at the camera and then read off from the list up there. You might think I do that all improv, but it is not the case. Not all of it anyway. So I had my whole list of names, but it was just a list of names. Have you ever tried reading off a list of names from across the room? So they're on the list on the screen, but I did not read either John Crowther's name aloud. He's on the video, and I also didn't read Mackenzie Workman's name. They're both on the video, but so I apologize to them. So yeah, so that was pretty. And true story. The Make Mine Silverline was a real accident. I did another take with it as Merry Christmas, but we looked at it and looked at both of them. We decided, you know what, this kind of works.
It does.
So, yeah, so we decided to keep it because when I said, wait, that was supposed to be Merry Christmas, that was my real reaction.
Well, that was all one take, right?
I thought Santa was confused, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, it worked. It was fun to do, and it's funny. I noticed that you can hear Santa beating on his on his stomach. It sounded hollow.
You see, he's waiting to get the cookies from Christmas.
Right? Yeah.
No, he hasn't had the cookies yet.
Yeah, I tried to get BJ to buy cookies the other day, but she wouldn't do it.
Not easy. All right.
You finally gonna share something with us here?
Yes.
So, all right, back to the comments here.
When I get
Doritos not an acceptable substitute. I agree.
Chiefs.
And
if you know what I'm saying.
I'm trying to advertise my comic everywhere, as you should. And I don't know if you post a link if it doesn't show up for me, but I haven't seen a link yet, Steven. So make sure you get a link.
So, nice. This is
a page from the
Demon Tales Christmas special.
Cool.
And we're getting there.
Nice. Looks good.
We have not
Santa.
A not Santa and a naughty helper. Terrible naughty helper.
And not a demon back there in the background, right?
Yeah, not a demon.
All right, so our topic tonight is fans and fandom, and I think one of the things that kind of made me think about this is just looking around at our group, we're a pretty eclectic group. I mean, we're all here because we love comics. We're all here because we love to make comics. But outside of comics, what do we do? Because if you know Tommy, Tommy likes to ride bikes. Curtis is a kung fu master. Roberta, what do you do in your off time?
I'm making comics.
That's pretty much.
I'm making magazines.
That's not your.
I don't
have
a lot of
full-time,
extra
right?
time.
So what kind of hobbies I know you like science fiction.
Yeah,
Yes,
I used to do an awful lot of Irish dancing. That was my hobby.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
cool.
I know it's odd.
Irish dancing,
cool.
That's what I like.
Kind of like the river dance stuff, or
yeah, kind of like river dance.
Not just clogging, but Irish dancing.
Right.
Cool.
That's cool.
Can you stand up and do some right now?
I will not. If somebody wins something one of these days, I'll TikTok it.
No, there you go. Yeah, we're still waiting on Tommy to twerk.
I still didn't do mine. Well,
maybe
we can do one together. I know.
Down there.
Tommy twerking, Roberta river dancing, clogging,
dancing.
There you go, just dancing. Yeah, so I just I thought about it, and I know that the Wednesday guys, there for a while, the group that was over there, every one of them was they were Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And now I like Star Wars, but I never bought any of the toys. I never bought any of, I went to the movies and I liked the movies, and I never had a lightsaber. I wanted a land speeder, but I couldn't find one of those. I can't name all the planets and the different people. I can barely remember the Ewoks. But then it made me thinking, there's a lot of fans who like comics who also like Star Wars, right?
Sure.
So what kind of other crossover kind of thing? It's not really a crossover, but I guess it kind of is. What other kind of hobbies, fandoms, really, I think is what I'm looking for. It kind of crossover with comics. And I'll tell you one that doesn't, and that's sports. You know, in general, and this is, none of these are blanket statements, of course, because just about any blanket statement is going to be wrong. But I played sports in high school. Of course, I'd also read comics, and that's what I wanted to do. But if you've ever met me, you know that I'm a tall guy, and so it was just I kind of naturally gravitated towards sports. I enjoyed it. I watch Saturday football. College football is my thing. I don't watch pro football. I don't watch, Sundays and Monday nights or anything. I don't watch any of those. But I watch Saturday football, and I really then only kind of watch from September to first of the new year when the bowls are, and that's pretty much it. But if I go to a college football game, I bet there's not a whole lot of comic book fans there. Again, I'm not saying there's none.
Comic book movie fans, because I bet there's a ton of comic book movie fans.
Sure.
Yes. Well, no, I'm gonna put a pin in that right there, Tommy, because I think we got to be real careful, because I'm talking about comic books and not comic movies.
The paper things.
Yeah, the paper, the things you guys print.
Oh yeah.
But I think you're right. I mean, I think though, because the movies have brought in billions, I think there's a lot of people who are comic movie fans.
Well, then we'll come back to that. I want to add on to that part of the conversation, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. So anyway, that was kind of one of my first thoughts is that, is sports, is that it's just, there's not a lot of crossover. And I know, like I said, I know a few people who also like sports. I'm going to call him by name. One of a guy who supports us frequently, a guy by the name of Robert McGinty. He supports us by way of Ultraverse. He's an Ultraverse fan, and so I think he gives us his support because we remind him a little bit of the Ultraverse. But he's a sports guy. He was actually a collegiate level athlete. Yep. And when he and I haven't seen him post a picture he took this year. He took a picture of the two of us at Daytona Beach. It's kind of our annual. We kind of got an annual photo going, I guess, for about 5 years now, 6 years, something like that. But so we talk about it. That's one of the things we talk about when we see each other. But none of you guys talk sports with me.
Not gonna happen.
Actually, it's so much when I came by your house the other day, you were watching football and I was ready to go.
It's true.
So you had fun watching your football. I believe it.
Yeah. The thing, and the thing about it is, because I'm a Razorback fan, I have my Razorback shirt on today, and so the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, who's that?
So football season, I only get 12 games in an entire year. So when I get the opportunity to see them, I want to see them. And I think you came over right as the game was it just starting, or had it been?
Yeah. So I knew you wanted to watch it, so I didn't hang out too much.
Yeah. But so anyway, so there's that. There's not a whole lot of crossover in sports. Now, Curtis, would you consider Kung Fu a sport?
I mean, martial arts can be.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
I mean, martial arts can be considered sport. It kind of depends on the intent, right? Like my school, I took a lot of students to competitions and like sparring, fighting competitions. So there's that. So there's different aspects. I think that's why I like it so much. It's kind of what you want out of it, right? There's the sport avenue that you can take. There's the philosophy, there's the exercise and all that stuff. So I'd say it can straddle that line between the two. Yeah.
If you're keeping score, it's kind of a sport, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's definitely athletics, right? You could definitely say that. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, quick fact on that note: if you wonder, there was in Japan there was a time where they delineated kind of more what was the sport and what was the martial art, which is when you hear the word jitsu at the end of the word versus do. So judo is the sport, right? Jiu-jitsu is the martial art. So the techniques in jiu-jitsu, because jitsu, if I remember correctly, has something to do with actually like killing or actually like hurting somebody. Do is the word for way, like Taoism. So when you hear karate do, when they put do at the end, that means it usually delineates more of the sport or more of the introspective aspect as opposed to the fighting art. So that's
always learning something. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. So dojo would mean what? Sport?
I don't know if it means the exact same thing because it's funny. I'm half Japanese, but I don't do Japanese martial arts. I just know that. So, go figure.
I'm half Japanese, but I learned all of my Japanese from Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, that's a subject for a whole nother show, and we won't do that here.
Yeah. Well, I know that
is for protection and stuff too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because you learn how to protect yourself, I don't know if that would be a sport, right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and there's specific techniques that change for sport. Like if you look at like judo is actually if you look back at the earliest versions of judo and jiu-jitsu, it goes back to Mongolia. If you look at Mongolian wrestling, they have the same techniques. And if you see the classic kind of hip throw where they throw somebody over their shoulder and they fall on the ground, everybody does it now because of the sport version where you throw it and the guy lands on his back. But traditionally, when the guy's coming over your shoulder, you scoot your feet back and drop the guy on top of his head.
I like that better.
Whoa.
Yeah, but you don't see that anymore because, of course, bad for sport.
Bad for heads.
Yeah, bad for people.
So I know that Curtis, what's the difference between like sparring and like katas?
No.
Okay. So kata, there's different names, but kata is the Japanese term. But kata is a form; it's a sequence. If you want to liken it, a kata is shadow boxing. So it's basically going through a series of routines in a prescribed pattern. It's a routine, and then sparring is actually with somebody else, where you're actually trying to apply the techniques. So it's kind of like a rap song, where you can have one version where the person's rapping the song, or freestyle where they're actually going against each other. So, anyways. Yeah. So yeah. So that would be the difference.
Very cool.
Thank you. Nice, Dave.
So that's why we make a good team.
Exactly.
So Tommy, I would say the same kind of thing about bike riding. To my
that
knowledge,
has a lot to do with comic book stuff. Bike riding does.
What's that?
No, it has a lot to do with comic book stuff. Bike riding does.
Splendid.
I'm just joking. No, I don't have anything. Nothing whatsoever, except for I wear like a Spider-Man shirt every now and again, and I got a Superman jersey that I wear, and a Batman jersey. But other than that, it had nothing to do with it. No, I just like to. I started bike riding, as a kid and stuff. So, but then when I turned 50, I needed to start doing some exercising, and I just. I hate. Everybody knows I hate. I'm not going to the gym, and I hate walking. It just bores me to death, and I'm not going to run because as I'm a big tall guy, and I don't want to be in my 70s having to get my knees replaced. So I'm definitely not trying to do anything to bust up my knees. So I got back into biking. But the funny part about it is that when my doctor told me to start biking, he thought I was going to do road biking, and then I started doing mountain biking. And then the next visit, he's like, "What? So how's the biking going?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a mountain bike." And he's like, "Mountain bike? Isn't it a lot of crashing and all that kind of stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe." And then so he sent me to get a bone density test and all this other kind of stuff. And,
now he's worried about you.
And, wrecking and stuff. But
Infraset fan says his favorite sport, hunting man.
Wait, is it man as in you enjoy hunting man, or are you hunting man?
Man.
All game.
Oh, this is one of those examples of your comment is important, right?
Yes.
Right. Man.
Kind of like eat shoots and leaves, or let's eat grandma. Right.
Let's eat grandma. That's a good one.
All right, Curtis. You behave.
I'm back.
You didn't say anything.
No.
So no, Tommy though. So outside of bike riding though, do you or let me rephrase that? Do you know? Because I know you have a kind of a someone that you ride with. He doesn't have anything to do with comics.
No, actually not. I mean, it turns out that my buddy, the people that I bike with and stuff, they like comics, but they don't make comics or anything like that. Yeah.
Do they like comics or do they like the comic movies?
They like everything. If she comes on there and listens, of course, my wife bikes with me all the time. So that's. But as far as the other folks go,
I'm going to use his name, but I was thinking about the repair guy that.
Oh, Manny, yeah, Manny. Yeah,
okay.
He's. I don't know if he's listening tonight, but hey, what's up, Manny? But no, he's more into the movies than the comics. But he's been our maintenance printer maintenance guy forever. So he likes comics just because he sees all of us doing. I mean, I actually did a comic with, and I put him in it. Okay. So that was pretty fun. I made him a bad guy. He liked it. That was pretty fun. But then some of the other folks that I bike with are Dawn. She's a big comic book fan. She more cool. Movies than not. But every time I send pages to you guys, I send her a page. So she's always like, she thinks it's kind of fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So, but no, not most of the. Some of the other guys that I bike with, they get the comics and stuff, and I don't know if I guess you would know if anybody's any other Orlando type folks getting the Kickstarter stuff, because they keep telling me that they're going to order the Kickstarter of the books I do. I don't know if they're doing it or not. Yeah, I think they think I'm just going to give them copies. I guess.
So I don't know. You'd have to ask me names because I don't know the locations until we go to ship things out.
Yeah.
And usually up until it's done, I only see like a name and what they've the tier that they've backed, that kind of thing. Infrafan, I kind of want to know where you go hunting, man, at. and when is the man hunting season?
The day of the purge, I would imagine.
I think if you're on college campuses, that's kind of every day, right? Everyone's hunting. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What are some other unlikely dancing? All right, so Roberta talked about dancing. I don't know many people who dance and do comics, right? And fandom. Now, that's Tommy and I. What's that?
I said that's why I mentioned it, because it's just random.
Tommy and I, we used to go to this convention in Mississippi, called Biloxi, called Coast Con. It was the first. I think it's the same for you too, Tommy. It was the first convention that ever invited me as a guest.
Yeah.
So they have a special place in my heart. They see that because it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think on Saturday they had a dance.
Sure did. They did.
Yep, and of course that's when you would see people come in costumes and things like that, and then they're out there dressed up as their favorite superheroes and science fiction characters, and they're all dancing. There's no way I can say this that doesn't sound bad, but really it's just a dance floor full of geeks dancing.
They could get their geek flag on. They were having a good time. Yeah, it was always fun.
Yeah, and yes, and it's always fun. But outside of that, and And Roberta.
Mhm.
I don't know anybody that I don't know any real crossover between dancing and comics.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
I don't think it's related.
Yeah.
I doubt it's related.
Jackson
Is-
says manhunting season is the same as a wabbit season.
Oh, boy.
And then Infravan says, "There's this island. You won't find it on any maps."
I think somebody's playing Squid Game.
Oh, you know what, Brett? You know, I told because Mama left. Mom was like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch it." Because we heard all about all the violence and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch it. You and Brett can watch it when I'm gone." So I asked Brett today. I said, "Hey, so you want to watch Squid Games with me this week while Mom's gone?" He goes, "I've already seen it." I'm like, well, okay.
That's how it is.
Yeah, we finally watched it the other day.
You
Yeah,
snooze, you lose with these things.
it's true. Yeah, we were gonna go watch Dune,
Oh yeah.
which I know Tommy's seen it.
I wanna see it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that hunk of crap.
You cannot talk about
You
that.
can't talk about it because I haven't seen it yet.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. But if you saw the '80s show, you've seen
You
this
saw
one.
the same one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it is an adaptation of the book, so the book hasn't changed.
Oh, it's okay. We're not going to talk. We're not
Hey,
supposed to.
we're not
Let's
gonna go
do
there.
that
Dude,
next week.
Dune's in book format now? What happened?
It comes in book format. Yeah. I love the book, and I think Roberta.
Great.
I remember at one point in time you said you read it a long time ago too, right?
I read
And
it.
loved
I read it when I was in junior high or something,
Yeah.
and then I read all of them,
Oh, you
and
did?
then I was like, "What the hell just happened?" The world got way too big.
I
So I
started
reread
reading.
Dune when I was older, as an
Yeah.
adult, but not the rest of them.
I've got them somewhere, and I've started reading them 2 or 3 times, and never could get past the first couple of chapters for whatever reason. I just never could get into the reading of this stuff. But no, the new one is not bad. It's not bad at all. But it's like both my wife and I, and she's not a big Dune person. She wanted to see it, and we're like, did we see this? That's what that's what she said. She goes, did we already see this? And I'm like, yeah, we saw it back in the '80s. We saw this exact same show back in the '80s.
I would imagine it just the special effects are better.
That's all. Different
Yeah.
faces, new special effects. That's I'm like, okay. So we watch Foundation instead.
Yeah, that's
We-
cool.
Oh man, I
I
gotta
love
see
it.
that.
They're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
watched the first
don't tell me.
episode of it.
Don't tell me. I love those books too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Gail's a girl. That's about it.
Stephen Brown says, I'm not much of a sports guy. I mainly draw. The thing, so one of my complaints as a writer has always been, and I used to see this a lot in Mitch Bird when I first broke into the industry, is that I would go and visit Mitch, and he's sitting there parked in front of his TV, quote unquote, watching a movie and drawing. And I'm like, I can't do that.
I do that all the time.
Oh, I know you guys, you artists can do that.
I'm doing all day today.
In fact, I watched Foundation while I was drawing.
I watched Dune and Foundation.
And if Tommy was on us, he's like, yeah, and I've got one on now too.
Renee put some Halloween music on for us, so that's what I'm listening to.
But see, now I can't do that. I can't watch a TV. Now I can listen to music, but I can't watch a TV show and write because I can't focus on the show and also compose thoughts and work. And look at Amy showing the Halloween music.
Right. This is where I sit and do the work, and when I'm working at home, and sometimes when I do the podcast thing, I'll sit over where my wife does her work stuff. But I was too lazy to go move the laptop over there. So
that's pretty funny.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of a complaint I've always kind of had as a writer, is that you guys get to do arting stuff and take in shows. I can't do that.
Well, I'm with you. I can't when it comes to actually writing stuff, like when I do write my own stories, or I've said this before on the podcast before, or when I'm doing programming, working on Kablam code for the website and stuff. I can't do it then because I
Yeah.
can't concentrate. It's a different part of my brain apparently.
Right.
And so, yeah, I can't think about something and then, because I am trying to pay attention to what's going on TV, not
Right.
watching it
Yeah,
so
you
much.
have
I'm
to
just
try.
listening to it. So I am paying attention because, and I know what's going on, but if I can't actually plot something and still know what's going on the TV at the same time, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to run stuff back if it requires watching.
So you mean while you're working, so you got the remote control next to you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And so if you're watching something, you're going, wait, what happened? You got to rewind it. And
have to sometimes. Yeah.
so
Once in a while.
I remember after I saw Mitch doing that a long time ago, I'm like, well, I'm going to try to do stuff. And I found that I would be typing, and then suddenly I'm typing what I'm watching, and I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't even know what that means, right?
That's funny.
Yeah. So
you're like collecting some kind of
I
don't know, inspiration.
Transposing or something? I don't know. It was weird. I found that
You're genre mixing.
Infrafran says Midnight Mass was a great series as well. Now I have not heard of that one. You guys know?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Midnight Mass? I don't know what that one is. And then he says I like to throw on comfort films while watching. So what would a comfort film be then?
Yeah.
Would a
something
comfort
you've
film
seen a lot, I would imagine.
So for me, something like
you know well.
Blazing Saddles, I've seen a gazillion times, right?
Yeah, but could you write while that's going on?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think it matters if it's a comfort thing or not. For me, it doesn't matter what's on. It could be just a regular sitcom or a movie, or it could be a horror movie. It could be a comedy. It doesn't matter to me what it could be. Hallmark Channel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Or Renee could be watching YouTube videos or
TikToks.
Or no, those would be distracting if you see me show on my phone because I still can't get half naked people dancing. And that's the only thing I see on my TikTok, on my stream. But no,
I still don't understand how you got that.
Hey, listen. Here's the thing. I pulled out this phone and because I was talking to BJ about it. She says, "Well, you're doing it wrong, man." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm doing it wrong?" I hit the app button and so I showed her, right, and I started scrolling and I said, "See, look, bikini girl, bikini girl, bikini girl, bikini girl," and she's like, "Well, you watch them." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean I watch them?
On something.
We're right there. I'm not. All I'm doing is scrolling." And so she said, "Well, if you stop and watch them," I said, "Well, okay, a couple of them I might."
There you go.
But I
said, doesn't explain it all.
I'm looking for because I like the ones. I like the ones where they the jump scares, where they scare people. I like those. The prank videos. Lately, lately what's popping up in my thread is a lot of deer hunting videos.
So really,
I have no idea why. I guess because I watched one.
That's got to be what it is. Maybe it might be neat to like log out and then start another name, student username, and then
I would
don't
imagine
pick anything.
I think you just stop clicking on them and it will get
They just
replaced.
pop up. What do you mean stop clicking on them?
No, I mean like click on other types of things and it'll start replacing it with those things.
You're saying to click on something. I don't.
So the other thing that BJ said that was
the twerking people.
Tommy, the other thing that BJ said I was doing wrong is that when I hit the app button, right, it comes up and then I would just start scrolling. And she said, "Don't do that." She said, "Hit the home button." And I found that did change it a little bit. Not that we can hear Tommy's TikTok now.
No, turn it down.
Stephen Brown said, "I have videos of myself drawing on my channel." I think that's a good idea. I think, Stephen, people want to see, which is, it's kind of why we do it here, right? I think people like to see the process. They like to see it happen. And the cool thing is,
I got a math video this time. That's pretty cool.
math?
Yeah, math. I don't know why that's on there. That's
So,
cool.
so the home button is down there on the bottom left. You see
Yeah,
that,
that's
right?
I
Yeah.
clicked on, but oh
Yeah.
nope, there's a naked girl.
Please don't show that on the screen.
Math video with the naked girl. That was the second one.
Speaking of our process, real quick, I just want to point out I really enjoy watching what Roberta's doing. If everybody's watching, if you look at those buildings, she has such a great sense of color design because it's very easy to just have like a standard gray. But if you can see, she has these different layers of the color, different tones, different hues, really subtle, even on that one side of the brick wall versus the other. And I just love seeing the way she works on stuff like that. It's
yeah, and she zooms away. You see that great big teardrop, the pattern. Yeah, there's like, wait, what? It's like, what's this black? And then you saw, oh wait, she cut it out and put the thing in there. Yeah,
no, that's great.
It's really tough because I'm trying to select things I'm making the flat layer as I'm going, and sometimes it's not quite detailed enough for my liking. I'm trying to get a small piece, so I have to select all of it and then just select, and that's the process that I go through sometimes.
Sorry, how did you get that nice watercolor kind of texture on that building? Because I was kind of
you weren't watching.
Well, I'm half watching, just like I watch TV when I draw. I'm looking up.
I have a brush that I'm using that I did 3 different colors in.
Oh, wow.
And I just subtly changed, the actual color that I was using to airbrush in, and then I kept the opacity down, under 15, to just kind of make it a slight color variation.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love watching you work. Great stuff.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Infrafan says Roland's all about deer and bikinis. You all know this. Well, my favorites are still the ones that the shock videos, the one where people surprise people coming around the corner. The kind of because I love doing that to my kids.
Oh, you do?
Oh man, all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
That is really great to know.
Yeah. Jackson Renick says, I'll load up a bunch of reaction videos and Reddit stories to play while I draw late at night. Pro revenge and I don't work here, lady stories. I don't work here, lady. So that would be funny. I remember that dude who made all the TikTok videos. It said, something like, hey, this was on sale last month. Can I get it for this price? And he goes, no, do I look like I have a time machine? He's funny.
That's awesome.
Then he adds, Roby rules. We agree.
That's
Jackson. Stephen Brown says, hey Roland, how did you break into comics? So let's tell abbreviated versions.
The short stories.
Yeah, of those stories. So Curtis, why don't you go first?
Well, it was the summer of 1992. Short version. I volunteered as an intern at Malibu Comics at the age of 15. And then from there, I started working under Roland, became his editorial assistant, and eventually got into coloring. So I started out by interning, not getting paid, and then I worked my way up to being a paid employee. So that's me.
Yeah.
So as a slave.
Yes, exactly. I prefer we prefer the term indentured servitude.
Yes,
right.
don't say that. We've got a couple of interns.
No. But you have to learn somehow.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, that's and I think interning is a fantastic way to, because some industries are a lot harder to get into than others. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you don't have to intern if you want to work at McDonald's, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you just go get a job there. You don't have to intern if you want to drive a truck. You go get training and you learn to you get your CRP. Some kind of CT I don't know. You get some kind of license that says I can drive a big truck, right? And then you start driving trucks. You don't have to intern.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who want to work in comics that if you're willing to intern for nothing, well, then that shows, hey, I want to work in this industry bad enough that I'm going to intern. I want some experience. I'll work for free. So
if I can kind of comment on that,
sure.
The process for me, the biggest thing is you intern when you don't have experience, because in the traditional sense, right, when it's right, internship is an apprenticeship, and we've lost this idea of apprenticeship, I think, in our culture.
Right.
So if you don't have the experience, or to be frank, the fully blown skill to get employed work, it's a great way to get your foot in the door, and you're getting paid with the experience to improve your portfolio. Now, if you are somebody who could get work paid and you have the experience, you should not sell yourself short and intern. But it's the trade that you get is the experience, if that's what you need. But a lot of people take advantage, but there are good places where you can do that, and I definitely would count Silverline as one of those. So yeah.
I think the other thing interning gets for you is networking.
Oh yeah.
Meet all kind of good folks.
Yeah. I mean, it's, it can't be understated, I don't think, the importance of knowing people and building up your network. I mean, just take the four of us, here as an example, right?
Very true.
The four of us have known each other for
a very long time.
So many
for a very long
years.
time. Yeah. So, I don't think I think interning gives you that valuable connection that you wouldn't have gotten as easily. Now you could still get it, right? But you wouldn't have gotten it as easily as being an intern does, because being an intern gets you on the other side of the door.
Absolutely. And there's those moments where somebody goes, hey, we need a writer for this one shot, or we need this. And if you're standing right there, there's that. Now, just real quick, to the contrary, when I got out of college, I had experience doing art and doing things, and I was trying to get further into video games. And so I accepted a job as an animation trainee at a company. And that company was paying me a very low wage. And on top of that, they weren't having me do the animation training. They were having me doing concept art for their games. So every time I was supposed to be training, they would say, hey, can you do some concept art? So they were getting concept art at an
free work, huh?
Yeah.
And I left that company after like a couple months. So there's a season for everything,
Yeah, you're right. Look at this. Infrafan says, I've been decorating my office with my toy collection, and I found my Ultraverse Ghoul figure.
Nice.
Wow.
How cool is that? Ghoul's the one that came with the casket, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And his
I
lens
think
broke off.
we need a photo.
Yeah. Infrafan, did you hear, Roby? We need a photo. That would be very, very cool.
That would be so
see.
cool.
Yeah, Rowan knows at the office I still have my Nightman figure sitting at my desk.
Nice.
Yep. That was, they didn't design Nightman off anything I did, even though I was working on the book. But, when it came out, it's like, I did this. I'm working on this book. Let me grab this. Let me get this thing. This is so cool.
Yeah. Stephen Brown said, I wish I was interning at that age, but I was living in Kentucky and there was no comic companies. Yeah, that's part of the thing that is a problem, is that traditionally the big companies, were in New York. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to work for either of them, then you had to go to New York, and that's hard to do, to live in a place like New York for free, right? Yeah. We're not getting paid anything. And so now you can find independent companies kind of scattered all over the U.S. Oddly enough, Florida's got a handful of them.
Thank you.
Infrafan says he's going to post on Twitter. So, hey, Infrafan, make sure you tag Silverline. I'm going to open up my browser so I can see when it happens.
And did any of you see the documentary about Chris Claremont and his run on the X-Men? Because he started out as an intern. That was the fascinating thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, his parents knew people who worked at Mad Magazine, and he needed to do a college internship. And they basically, I guess it was a rowdy bunch, and they said, we're not going to allow your kid here, but we know Stan, so they recommended him for an internship. And so One of like the best writers.
Really?
Yeah, he started out as an intern at Marvel.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that. Peter David started off in the marketing department.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, he was in the marketing department, and I think he used to write a lot of the solicitation copy. And then something happened, and hey, he's tried out for one of the books, and he got hired. Yeah,
that's cool.
Roby, how about you? What's your abridged version of breaking into the industry?
I guess I had some connections. Hearing about our ramp up to make the Ultraverse staff.
Did you know someone there before you applied?
Yeah, I knew Jerry Bingham.
You knew Jerry Bingham outside of Malibu?
I interviewed him for my senior seminar.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, as a working illustrator.
How cool is that?
I was like, I love your job so much. And also, I knew four people that were in my illustration club and illustration classes and graphic design courses at Northridge. We were all very connected on. We wanted animation. They didn't quite have an animation program there.
Yeah.
But when that opportunity came up, like there was a group of us that found out about that. So we're like,
did all four of you end up?
And a lot of us were perfect for it. I think
that's
in
pretty
personality,
cool.
in talent, and what you guys were looking for at Malibu Comics was people that were artistic minded, but weren't already jaded by the process.
Yeah,
I think that worked out. So it was networking, right place, right time.
Yep.
The fact that I make myself known on what I like and what I don't, and that helped.
Very cool. I did not realize that about you. I probably swap messages with Jerry about once a week. Yeah, I still.
Yeah, tell him I thought his job was so cool that I told him that, and I think that helped.
I definitely will. I'd love to get Jerry on here and talk with us sometime.
So lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of people I was in class with, we were all talking about it too. So
that's pretty cool. Because I didn't know. I mean, I knew who Jerry was, but I didn't know him until I got to move out to California. So
he's a really great guy.
Yeah,
really professional about like his work ethic is really something that I learned a lot from.
Yeah, very very much so. I've got a project. This goes back not quite 10 years ago. I had a project that I said something to him. I said, because he doesn't do comic book work anymore. And I said, hey, you need to be doing comic book work. And he goes, I kind of think that I'm past the comic book stage now. I said, come on, me and you'll do something. I almost had him talked into doing one. He said, okay. He goes, I'll do one on two conditions. He says, what's that? He goes, number one, you find a story that I like, and number two, you find someone to pay me my rates. So I spent the next several months and finally got a story that he liked. So I worked up a story, and I've got some sketches that he did. I've got some drawings, and they look really, really good. I'll have to dig them up and show them sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, and so I had this story that he liked, and so then I started shopping it around, and I could not find anyone to pay rates for Jerry Bingham. So.
Can you say what genre it was in, or was it in a specific genre?
It was sort of a steampunk historical.
Oh, that's great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, basically a World War II Frankenstein with a mix of all kind of stuff. I loved it. Okay, so
that was a good aside. So it was a long story, and it didn't mean to be. Sorry.
So Infrafan, may I share this on the screen here? Are you okay with that? I mean, it's on Twitter, so I'm thinking you're okay with it. But he's actually got Ghoul standing in the in the casket. I know, it's pretty cool. So let's see, how can I
those are really good figures, especially for that time. They were really solid.
Yes, I think so. So I'm going to assume that he's going to be okay with it. Let me see if I can share screen. Share screen. I want to share the window of that. So there it is, y'all.
Ooh. Oh my God, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I like how you put the lid slightly ajar.
I know, right?
Like he came out of it.
Yeah, that's great. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
wanted to see
So
that.
very cool. Excellent.
Did they ever make a Lord Pumpkin?
They
I
should
think
have.
I heard that they were going to, right? Wasn't it something like they were at a point where they were considering it, I think, or something, where there's a template?
Yeah,
don't
because
remember.
I know that I wanted it if they had it. I don't.
That was one character that I wish that I had done something. I got the ink on or do something with.
Yeah.
I got to do something with Sludge and of course Nightman and a bunch of the other ones. But Lord Pumpkin, I always just liked his look. I've always thought his look was cool. Aaron LePresley did him, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did such great. I mean, think about how long ago it was. And Aaron LePresley was so advanced even at that point, and his painting was phenomenal. I love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Aaron and I did a show together several weeks ago.
Yeah.
Over on I can't remember if it's a Thinking Critical or Critical Thinking with Wes, but a really nice guy. And we talked a little bit about that, and of course working with Steve Gerber. And I didn't realize. I mean, I knew that getting stuff out of Steve was a challenge, but I didn't realize exactly how much Aaron had done at that point in time. Because I didn't come on until a little bit later, but as the editor. But I didn't realize how much of the story development Aaron had actually done. But pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, tell me what's your abbreviated version?
I'm still working on it. Trying to break into comics now. My easy thing was, back in college day, there were some dudes that were I was a computer science major, so nothing to do with comics. I always liked to draw and stuff, but that's not what I was doing. I was working on my computer science degree, and there was some guys that were breaking or are doing comics and breaking into the comics and getting editors to look at their stuff, and they were breaking it, and I was looking at their artwork, and and I was like, shoot, those idiots can do it, so can I. and then of course I was completely wrong, and I couldn't do it, but I worked on it, and finally with the help of my buddies Roland and Steven and Mitch, the people I'm talking about that were in college, we all were at the USM together at the same time, and you guys helped me break in. Y'all saw that I worked hard and I was able to get the work done, and it's like, let's give them a shot, and so y'all finally did, and then it branched off into a world of making comics. So that was it. So it was just literally seeing you guys getting, breaking, getting in there and doing stuff, and me going, shoot, you can do it, I'm going to do it too. And then
no, you're right,
and I was completely wrong. I could not do it, but I got around to finally being able to with y'all's help.
Well, and my story is kind of similar to that. It's like when I had been submitting stories to Marvel and to a little bit to DC, mostly to Marvel, because I knew those characters far better than I knew the Marvel characters. But it also submitted to some independent comics, and then I met Steven, and he and I started talking and swapping stories. Found out that he it was pretty much the same for him. He had been submitting and getting rejection letters. And so we said, this is, of course, this would have been 1987. We're like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did it on their own.
Yeah.
And look at all these other comics that are popping up. And like, why don't we just do it? And kind of like you, we're like, if the Turtles can do it, we can do it, right?
Nope.
Yeah, and that's what we did. We discovered, okay, yeah, this is a whole lot harder than we thought.
Yeah, we're a little more than just this, that. Yeah.
But we did. We
and y'all sure did.
And we got stuff done. Steven's suite mate, not his roommate, but he shared a suite with him, was Mitch. And so Steven got Mitch involved, and the three of us put together Cat and Mouse and as well as Silver Storm and another project that didn't happen. And long story short, we tried to do it on our own. That didn't work. So we ended up, but we had a whole bunch of stuff at that point in time. And so we were able to take that and send it to another publisher. And they're like, hey, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, we want to do this, right? Because when you're an independent publisher, that's one of the hardest things to do is actually get the work. And if you got it, then it was like, oh, cool. Look, we can.
Yeah,
we
I
can
think
do
that's
this.
what sold it for you. You were able to show people what you're able to do.
To produce. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing led to another, and then ultimately we ended up with Malibu under Aircell. Cat and Mouse landed under Aircell, and then Silver Storm landed under, I think, Adventure.
Yeah, probably.
Which we never understood because the plans were to share the world, and we tried to tell them, hey, they share the world. They shared the world. And Tom Mason said, it doesn't matter. No one will notice.
Yeah. Demon Tales was under Aircell, wasn't it?
No, Demon's Tales was under Adventure.
Oh, was it too? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Was it Adventure? Yeah, or was it Eternity?
That was the other one.
Yeah, there was Eternity.
Yeah. I think I have it right down here.
Which one did Ninja High School?
That was Eternity. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what.
That was such a fun book.
Yes,
that book is actually the book
that
that got me into anime. It actually, of all things, was
real full anime. Yeah.
So Demon's Tales was under the Adventure label.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So, and Cat and Mouse was under Aircell. And I don't think I have the Silver Storm issues in here. So I don't. Well, let's see if it's just, see if I reprinted the covers in here. I don't remember doing that. And no, I didn't. So I don't know. I don't remember where Silver Storm was. Probably Adventure also, to be honest with you.
You got to think about all of the stuff that the three of you guys, everybody that rode. I mean, not saying in a derogatory way, rode your coattails, I guess. You got me, of course. I came along and broke in, which led on to Kablam itself. Because if I wouldn't have broke into comics, there would be no Kablam, as it is today. And of course, I wouldn't have done the Zomboy and all the Inferno Studio Kid Heroes stuff. And I'm not sure if Barry would have, because I was doing stuff, brought Barry along, my business partner, your longtime friend.
Yep. And I gave Barry some of his first paid work. Sure,
absolutely. And then you got you got John the Third, with Sniper and Rook. He gives you guys credit, for helping him wanting to do books and all that kind of stuff. So just think of all the people that you helped along the way. Big claps.
But Tommy, though, I think some of it is what you said, though. I think some of it is like you said, hey, if those guys can do it, I can do it. Right?
Yeah, inspiring each other.
That's true, but I mean, you got to give yourself credit too. I mean, I think for everybody going for something, it always starts with that first part. I can do it because this guy's doing it. Right. But then there's the realization when it gets hard, or there's that first part of opposition, right? And that's usually most people. It's the very tiniest piece of opposition, they fold, right?
Yeah.
But it's a certain personality that goes, okay, I'm gonna get this, and then as each adversity comes, it doesn't change, and you just keep going, and then you find yourself there. But that's not everybody. Not everybody has that tenacity, right?
Well, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, we see a lot of. I mean, you guys know we see a lot of folks that are breaking into comics, and they show up at conventions, and they have their portfolio worth of pinups of characters just doing all this kind of stuff. And like, well, can you actually draw the comic? Because we need people that can draw the comic,
Right.
And they're like, oh, I don't have any sequential work, and I'm like, then you're not actually making comics. There's a whole lot to it, and there's a whole lot of boring people drawing people talking this way and talking this way and talking this way and doing this and 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 this. A whole lot of boring stuff you got to draw sometimes, and you got to make it look fabulous.
Well, I mean, just kind of look at what Roberta's coloring bricks.
Yeah,
it's bricks. Yeah, really exciting, right?
And I'm looking at it. That's Roberta's coloring the thing that I inked, and I'm like, I inked all those stupid bricks.
You did every one of them.
Yeah. And I'm working on a panel right here with a bunch more bricks. Roberta, you got some more bricks.
Come on, no more bricks.
You got to blame Pete on this page that I'm working on.
So what do you guys want to jump on and share?
I still haven't figured out how to throw my iPad onto this. Whenever I try, so
there's gotta be a way.
Tommy, you want to share?
All right, let me work on it.
And then you're gonna have to put together a tutorial for.
I have to do it. You're Curtis. You're on a Mac, right?
Yeah, I'm on a Mac and an iPad.
We'll figure something out, honey. All right, y'all talk while I try to figure.
Okay.
No.
So Inverse Fan says, so I'm nearing 40 and I finally want to attempt an indie comic, but I am terrified I'm not talented enough to pull it off. What's the best way to go about even trying to do an indie comic? Man, that's a tough one, isn't it? Who wants to tackle that?
Well, there's that saying, right? There's that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? Yep. So I can't tell you how much anything that I've accomplished in life is just literally putting one foot in front of the other.
Preach.
Exactly. Can I get a witness?
You got a witness.
Yes.
but really, that's what it is. It's just taking that first step and going for it.
Yeah.
And you got to bet on yourself. So if you're saying that to us, you have it in you, you want it. And if you don't feel you're talented, that doesn't matter as long as you become skilled. I think people mistake talent for skill. I always hear, you're so talented about something. Talent means almost absolutely nothing without hard work and skill. So you can accumulate skill, talent's something different. So I'd say just one foot in front of the other. And didn't Jack Kirby, he started fairly late, I thought I heard one time. I don't know if that's true, but it takes all kinds. So that's my
somebody else want to add?
No, all I was going to say is, you got to get the work done, but it's really easy, I think. And I'm not just talking about because of Kablam being able to print your stuff. I mean, all you got to do, you can just get you a web page and put the pages up, and it's really easy to self-publish your books now. I mean, it's really hard to make money off of it, but the actual getting it out there, it's I don't think
today than it's ever been.
It's very, very easy. And then of course, there is Kablam, so we can get your book and or get it printed to where it looks like a comic. You still got to do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really it's just you wanting. It's like Curtis was saying. It's you got to get it done, but actually getting it out there is pretty easy. Now, if anybody will look at it, that's another thing.
Right. That's
being able to get it. Yeah.
The way I look at it, that's the hardest part. About being an indie comic maker is getting someone to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So this is page 3 of the that's Pete's stuff.
Yeah.
And
so good.
Mr. Rowland wrote this one, I believe.
Nice.
Right?
Yep.
I am getting confused at all these pages because they all got like Santa Claus and stuff in them, and I'm doing like 2 of these and then 2 of these and then 2 of those and then 2 of these, and it's like I'm getting so confused. All this just one
everywhere.
That's gorgeous.
So I'll go back to a kind of follow on what Curtis was saying, Infrafan. So one of the things you can't do, okay, one of the things you can't do is regret. Okay, and you say this in your post. You say you're nearing 40. So one of the things you can't do is look back and say, I regret not doing it 20 years ago. Because there's nothing you can do to change that, right? I mean, you cannot change what happened yesterday. Now you can change what happens today and what happens tomorrow. So you are in control of that. But if you spend all of your time looking back and saying, man, I really should have been drawing, I really should have been, well, then you're just going to make yourself depressed, you know, and you don't want to do that. As Curtis was saying, you know, put one step in front of the other. So I already mentioned that I was a bit of a sports nut. You know, I coached my kids when they were young. Both of my kids play musical instruments. Both of them played sports when they were young. I was very fortunate that I was able to coach my daughter for 6 years in softball, fast pitch softball, and then my son for 6 years in baseball, Little League baseball. But I will tell you what I used to tell them all the time is that you have to practice. You can't pick up if you don't know what you're doing, you can't pick up a football and throw a spiral immediately. Okay, let me rephrase that. Most people cannot, right? Most people don't know how to get the spiral, and they have to work at it. You can't catch a ball in the pocket if you're playing baseball the first time. You can't sit down at a piano and play Beethoven's Fifth immediately without hours and hours and hours of practice. So the thing I always ask in my classrooms is like, why do you expect to sit down at a keyboard at a typewriter, right? This is what's on my desk, right? How do you expect to sit, or why do you expect to sit down at your keyboard and type out the greatest script ever when you've never done it? Same thing with art. Why do you think that you're going to sit down at the art board and produce Jack Kirby or fill in the blank for your favorite artist, right? Quality artwork when you haven't put in the time. So the thing that I'm going to say, and I would say, since you say you're nearing 40, it's actually a really good time, because that's a time when you are able to say, hey, look, I'm nearing 40. I know what life is like. I know what it's like to work. I know what it's like to pay bills. I know. Yep. I know what it's like to have responsibilities. So you can kind of decide what you want to do. I mean, you know, I look on the screen here, and I know everyone holds a full-time job. Everyone works their full-time job, and then they go home at night and they work, quote unquote, another full-time job making comics, right? We all spend time at our jobs that pay our rent, pay the bills, and then we come home and we bust our butts doing other stuff. But because we've reached that point in life, we're like, okay, you know what? This is what I want to do. This is what I like to do. And I think you've got to make that conscious decision. You're always going to have you're always going to have the fear. I think this, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're always going to have the fear that you're not talented enough. Would you all agree with that?
Sure. Otherwise, the people that are good at things all have that in common. To be honest, right? Yeah.
I think anyone who's a creator or creative type, always they're going to go through phases. Like, well, of course, that's one of the reasons, for me personally, I keep asking, has anybody read the comic books yet? I want to know what you thought, because it's always that, well, okay, well, they got them, but maybe they didn't like them. No one's commenting because maybe they read them and says, they look good, but they, whatever, And so, I think every creative type person has those sorts of concerns, but you can't let it cripple you.
Definitely. I was the way you were saying that too. I wonder how much of your experience in comic books is informed by your experience in sports, because that's a very sports mentality, right?
Yeah.
That kind of dig deep. Yeah. And I just was laughing the other day, because every now and then I'll get somebody from my martial arts school write me. And instead of I want to learn Kung Fu, I get people writing me, I want to be a Kung Fu master. And I have to hold back my laughter because of the people that have said that, all of them suck. They don't. In other words, they want to be the master, not because they love kung fu, right? It's just like, I want to be a leader. It's like the best leaders aren't people that go out to be a leader, right?
Right.
And I always tell them, I said, why don't you try being a student first?
Right.
And then let's see if you can be a good student, and then we'll talk about you being a master. You know,
I just want to be Jackie Chan. How do we do that?
yeah, exactly. I just always laugh when they say that. It's like, how did you even?
Yeah.
Because I never thought I would be an instructor or a quote unquote master. I just did something that I loved, and then eventually, things led that way. Not that you shouldn't have ambitions, but like, start small.
Right. Yeah.
Take that first step.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you're right. What you said about the steps, I think that's exactly right. You gotta, what is it? You've got to walk before you run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't make that up. Somebody did.
Yeah.
Stephen Brown says, a while ago I've been making pages and pages for portfolios to send to comic companies, and I would get ghosted by each and every one of them. And I did this for a while, not even a rejection letter. So part of the problem is this, and I can't speak directly to your situation, but Curtis will remember this. We used to get so many submissions at Malibu that we had form letters that basically says, look, we have submission guidelines. If you don't follow our guidelines, you don't get a response. You just get a form. You get a form rejection, right? Because you can't. That basically says, hey, idiot, here's our guidelines that you obviously didn't follow the first time. Maybe you'll follow them this time, and we'll take a look. Now, not saying, again, Stephen, not saying that was you. I'm just saying that if you don't follow the guidelines, you give them a reason. And the thing about it is, not all of them have the same guidelines. Every publisher is a little bit different. So you got to figure out what it is that they want. The other thing is, don't send it to the generic submissions editor.
No, you need a target. You gotta target it. Yeah.
Yeah. I never
got it anywhere by just sending it to the submissions editor. I always sent it, and not just like if you're sending it to Marvel, I never sent it to just one person. I would send it to like 5 or 6 people, the same packet of stuff, and then, yeah, but
yeah,
they'll target it a little more.
Well, and the truth is, a submissions editor is more times than not an intern or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Curtis, how many submissions did you go through?
Oh yeah, quite a bit, and also you have to target in terms of content. Like I won't say what I still remember, it was jarring, but when somebody sent essentially an adult comic book submission.
Yeah.
And it was just like, not quite what's on on the roster here.
Right.
And then if you send it into Malibu, and Curtis was the submissions editor, and it was like a penciling thing, Curtis was like, no, I want a pencil. I'm not going to put this through it. And ends up in the garbage can real quick. He's like, I'm not passing this on through.
And how much of it is the follow-up, right? I mean, I know of multiple people who got the job not because of the first submission, but because they were the rare exception. When the editor told them, you need to work on this and that, they showed up at the next convention with the new pages exactly that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just showing that they had the ability, but showing they could take instruction and follow through.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing that I laugh about Tommy about, because Tommy, when he disappeared, he showed back up, and Steven and I was looking at his stuff. Wow, this stuff, stuff looks really good. Tommy, he says, "What, you think I wasn't listening to all that stuff you were saying?" I still remember that. It was yesterday.
You got practice, Johnson. Said work on this and this and this. So that's what I did.
That's what I did.
Well, I also knew that I was bugging the crap out of you guys, and I was like, they're gonna start getting ticked off if I keep showing up with crap. So I need to, at least if I'm going to try to make a go at this, I need to at least try to get better. And, because you do see a lot of stuff at the shows where, it's the same folks, back when we got to go to shows a lot,
Yeah.
It's like, you guys aren't doing it. You got to practice a little more, You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there.
Well, so I've told the story before. When I was an editor at Malibu, there's this. We used to have to. The editors used to have to do the portfolio reviews, right? The scheduled at the convention. And so I saw a submission from an artist. I'm like, wow, this is really good. I really like these pages, right? Here's our submission guidelines. Also, here's a sample script. I think we had them there. I said, work on these pages and send them to me in a couple of weeks. And, we'll see what you can do, how you can handle our characters, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nothing. The very next year, I'm walking through the aisles and someone says, hey, Roland, you need to look at this guy's stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I start flipping through it. I'm like, hey, these look familiar. And I said, hey, did I talk to you last year? He goes, yeah, we did the portfolio reviews. And I looked at it. I'm like, I saw these very pages last year, didn't I? And he said, yeah. I said, do you have anything new? He goes, no, not really. I got a couple pinups in the back. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, and so I said, well, I'll tell you the same thing I told you last year. I'll give you a script and see how you handle it. Right?
You're thinking to yourself, I'm so glad I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, because we would have been fighting with this guy to get the pages, and then something that would have ended up running behind trying to, yeah. So yeah.
Talking about your bricks, Tommy. Jackson said, well, at least you're not drawing any nets.
Oh,
Jackson drew several. Oh, Roberta colored them too. Jackson drew some nets in the White Devil Christmas story.
Oh, like fishing nets?
I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the great big nets to capture the little dragon thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. He drew nets to do that. So. Stephen Brown said, Thomas, that's exactly what he did. So it was all art submissions. So, the thing about it is we can't answer as to why things happen for other companies. There's no, and I'm sure they don't all have the same reasons. Some of them are like, we just don't have time, which in that case they should remove any kind of, I think they should remove any kind of submission stuff. That's kind of like why Silverline removed all this submission guideline stuff, because no, we can't do this anymore, right? We when we first started we had them, but I'm like, I took them down because we just couldn't handle it, right? The only other thing I would say, Stephen, you're doing your own thing, do that. Do your books, print up some books and send them to the same people that you sent your submissions to. Believe it or not, a printed book speaks more powerful than photocopies. Mm-hmm. Because the editor is going to see, or whoever you're submitting to, the editor is going to see that, look, not only do you want to do comics, but you went and made your own comic, right? You want to do it bad enough that you made your own comic and you sent us a copy. So plus, I speak as an editor. Everyone loves to get free comics. I have boxes, you can't see them, but I have boxes back here that are independent comics that people gave me when I was an editor, because they like, hey, here's my stuff, I want you to see, and ask me where my photocopies are.
Yeah.
I don't have any photocopies. I threw them all away, but I still got comic books back here, and I still remember the comics, right? So when people say, there was this comic book, I'm like, I got that comic, right? Doesn't
it also kind of say a lot that you take your work that seriously, that you're going to put your own money down, you're going to take the time to get it formatted, get it printed, you carry your art with that kind of dignity, right? Yeah. And that attention to detail, that means you're a force to be reckoned with, at least to some degree, at least looked at, right?
Yeah.
And you're publishing a book, not only, you're getting some stuff to show other folks, but you put out your own book.
Yeah.
Everybody's goals are different. You may want to, your goal may be that you have to work for Marvel or DC, whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Good luck. Right. But, but if you're, putting the time out, coming up with some characters, making a comic, and then then it just at least you can go to a show now. You can put your books out on the table. You can try to sell your stuff, make you a little money while you're trying to break in, if that's what if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm not trying to push Kablam, but you can get us to print your stuff. We print comics. They look like comics. They look just like your Marvel DC books. That's what that's our whole goal, is to make comics that look like comics. So, or to print comics that look like comics.
Yeah.
But and another thing, I don't know,
and
how does this work? Are people sending in submissions now through the mail, or is it all digital now? Is it a digital form? Because like what you were saying, that he's not getting any responses, I mean, I remember back when I used to send them in, I'd always feel like a self-addressed stamped envelope thing, so they can, so it wouldn't, if they wanted to jot something down saying, "Oh, you stink here," at least they did it, and they didn't have to pay for it,
The self-addressed stamped envelope does two things, right? Number one, it makes it, maybe three things. Number one, it makes it easy for them because the envelope is already there.
Right.
Number two, it doesn't cost them anything but time.
No, just a little. They got a little note.
And number three, it almost makes them feel obligated.
Right.
If I've got a self-addressed stamped envelope, I feel more obligated to send you a response than if you don't send me anything. My obligation is to file 13, right? My obligation is to recycle because I'm conscious of that.
That's a good point.
Phil Leon says, "Sup, Silverline Peep? Out goes the comics goodness." Sup, Phil? Phil, for those of you who don't know, you recognize his name. Phil has colored White Devil that we will be kickstarting next month. So I'm very excited about that. So Infrafans goes on to say, I don't want to be any of the greats. I just want to be myself and tell a fun story. I've released a few novels. Well, that's something.
That's good.
Been
Yeah.
writing and drawing poetry pretty much my entire life. I just love telling stories. Then, I think that I think you're already kind of doing it then, as far, so writing is a different beast.
Yeah, isn't that even harder to break in as a writer?
Yeah, it really is.
Because the editors don't want to read. That's when you really need a comic of something else, because they don't want,
Yes.
Because then all of a sudden you're going to turn in a script of something that you wrote of Spider-Man doing something, and they're going to go, no, we don't want to use you. Then all of a sudden they come up with something similar, and you're going to go, they stole my idea, of course.
So here's the example I always give. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing, right? So if I'm an artist, I can do this, and you can make a judgment. Hey, what do you think about this art, right? Now you can make a judgment just like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now I can do this, right? Hey, what do you think about my story?
Oh, I'm not reading that.
Right?
Put that down.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Is it? Whoops.
Kind of busy.
I'm busy.
you can make a judgment just like that as to whether you like the art or not. Now it takes a little bit of time to explore it, and to look at the nuances of the lines and things like that, of course, right? But you can make a snap decision as to whether you like the art or not, in just like that. You can't do that with stories. You actually have to invest time and energy and effort into reading the story. And so, it's a lot tougher. I'll tell you, Infrafan, if let's see if I can scroll back to see. So being terrified is something that, terrified you're not talented enough is something that, it's just one of those things that you got to walk through. You just gotta make it through. I will also tell you this: it helps if you can get a support network. People who, this is one of the reasons that I kind of like our streams is, and we've said it multiple times before. This kind of feels like a studio, right? Kind of feels like a virtual studio. We're just all hanging out, chatting. The writer does most of the talking because that's the way it works, right? But we're kind of in the studio and we're hanging out together. I will say, for me personally, these are our weekly streams help me kind of stay motivated. It helps me, maintain my energy. So that's a different thing than actually doing the comic, because the other part of it is, what's the best way to go about even trying to do an indie comic? Well, the other thing is just, as Tommy pointed out, just do it. If you finish it, if you make it, I mean, you have Indiegogo, you've got Kickstarter, I'm not picking sides. There's people who like and people who hate both of them. Our current Christmas specials on both of them. So and we made goal on both of them. Yay! But we still need some support for you out there who are listening and haven't backed it yet. Please go back. We need the support.
We still got another week or so, right?
Yep. Well, it ends 1 week from today. So you can raise funds that way. If raising funds is something that you need to do. If you're doing this all on your own, which it kind of sounded like, the funds would be nice, but you don't have to have that if you just want to do it. Just go to Kablam. I mean, I'm gonna share my tab again here. I'm gonna show you how easy it is at Kablam. We should still get that sponsorship. Kablam Digital Printing. All right, so share. All right, so here's the deal. Right, here is Kablam Digital Printing. If you want to make a comic book, this is how easy it is to do Kablam. Right, place an order, comics. Right, then it opens up a screen, and then there's templates here that you can download. But this is how easy. Then you name your comic. Let's see, Infra Fans comic. And here's one of the things I like about Kablam. All of this stuff is already kind of defaulted to what a comic book would be. So you don't have to worry about going, oh no, do I want 70-pound gloss covers? Do I want 80-pound? What? I don't know what I want. Guess what? If you just want a comic book, it's already defaulted to what is just a normal comic book, right? So you got a standard size comic. You just pick that. The gloss covers, you're going to full color. Then you got to count how many interior pages you're going to have, right? Let's say that you're going to have 24, which is kind of standard, right? You can decide if you're going to do a Kablam ad, yes, on the back cover. So you get a discount, right? So you can see it costs you $267 for 24 pages, full color with a Kablam ad. If you don't have the Kablam ad, it'll cost you $327. This is why so many people use the Kablam ads, right? Because you save a lot of money. So Kablam ad on the back cover. I want one copy. Guess what? You can order one copy. I'm just
so cool, right?
It is so cool. It is
just made your comic just like
when
that.
I did comics in the 1990s, I had to order 3,000 copies.
I got them still sitting in my garage right now.
So, and here's the thing, you can treat this as a proof, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to order one copy, and now I'm not going to go through the whole process because you can see I'm not logged in. But you can log in, and then you'll step through the process. You got to pay, and then you'll have to upload your files. But again, there's all kinds of cool little technical specs there. The templates. I use a template. I've got my Adobe stuff set up with templates all over the place, right? So it's pretty easy for me. And of course, if you want to change the quantity, look, just 10 copies, boom, 2670s plus the shipping, right? Whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's that easy. That's how easy it is to do. So
if I can vouch too, for the music video associated with my comic book, we have a comic book prop, and my comic book's not finished yet, but I was able to make a comic book prop with the pages that I already have done and a cover, and Kablam got it to me, and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than knowing that the printers, the two guys running the company, are comic fans and are comic book creators. They know how it should look. I mean, I've heard horror stories from people that get things fulfilled where it's really just a print house that has no idea how a comic book should actually be made. So
I mean, the truth is,
those guys are pretty good. I don't know who they are, but those guys are pretty good.
I hear good things.
Yeah, the truth is, Infrafan, there's a lot of places that can print your comic.
Sure.
There are other places that will advertise that they print comics, and you certainly have options. We like Kablam for multiple reasons. Well, obviously one of them is, Tommy is a co-owner here. But as Curtis just said, these guys make comics. And when we say they make comics, the people who own Kablam are comic book creators.
I'm making one right now.
And I can't tell you the
number. For 30 years, I've been making comics.
I can't tell you the number of times I've, because they're local to me. I run down there probably every, 5-6 weeks and force them to go to Del Taco. And
we go to Del Taco. That's right.
And I can't tell you the number of times I've been in the office and I see them looking at stuff and say, and I'll see them comparing them like, hey, oh, what's wrong with this color here? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, it ain't that different. Just ship it out. But no, these guys don't do it. Because they're like, well, if it was my comic, I wouldn't want this to be. And so I've seen them chunk books that didn't meet the standard. And so this is one of the reasons I like Kablam so much, because they've got the production values of people who make comics. And I don't just mean, when I say make, I don't just mean print. I mean, they are creators.
Comic creators. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like Curtis saying that he's a comic book kung fu master kind of get. I mean, we're comic book creators that print comics.
Yeah, Curtis is the thing. I start talking about kung fu in my comics, and Curtis just grits his teeth and smiles. Yes, Roland. Yes. That's exactly how they hold their hands. Yes, Roland. They all say "Hiya!" Oh, Curtis, I got a good joke for you.
Okay.
Oh no.
What kind of drink does Bruce Lee like to drink after a hard workout?
I think I know what it is, but I'm going to give you the punchline. I don't know.
I may have told it. He likes to drink water.
I thought you were saying, because the company, his estate has their own beverage now. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Bruce Tea. It's iced tea, but it has the
Bruce.
I thought that's what you were going to say. They're going to say Bruce Tea.
I like my answer better.
I like yours better. If I can interject real quick, Stephen Brown, weren't you gonna? Your stuff's on Indiegogo. Weren't you gonna send us a link or something? I think we're getting close to ending, so Yeah.
Phil says, have the new variant cover halfway done now. Excellent. And if you will, please don't show that until we have a chance to promote it. But yes, I'm so excited to hear that. And by that, I think you mean the one that I just posted to you today, right? Infrafan says, I will say, when you came on our podcast a few years ago, Geek Man with Dustin Yoke, you know what? I thought I recognized the Twitter thing. And I'm like, okay. You reminded me how much I love comics. Just feel the fires again. I really appreciate all the help and advice. Of course. And I will say this. I think that you'll find the independent comic community is very much that way. I don't think, there's some competition in the sense of you want to do well, but it's not really a cutthroat kind of. I think everyone likes to help everyone and wants to see, hey, if you've got questions, I want to see, I want to see you succeed, and I want to, if I can, I want to give you some answers if if I can answer them. Phil says Kablam has the most comprehensive layouts and templates for print that I've ran into out of most printers I've worked with. Yeah, and Phil, not only does he color, but one of the things Phil does, he and I talked about it some, is that he does a lot of layout and production work for independent folks. So I would say he knows wherefore there he speaks. Stephen Browdy said I posted it 3 times. I have not seen it come up. I wonder if it doesn't show links in on our side here. I don't know the answer to that. Francis, I am also a client. Yeah. We just, this is the way our streams go. We started out to talk about fandom.
And it went away.
Yeah. But I for me, I prefer doing this because it's a question spurred on by someone who's listed, and we get to talk about that. So
I like that a lot, to interact with the people that do have actual questions, like real world questions about the business and how it goes and our experience, and
yeah, absolutely,
it's valuable.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is 9:55. That was that just kind of flew by. What's that?
That went quick.
It did go quick. Oh, there's his there's his,
you got it.
There is the link, everyone.
Nice.
Okay.
So if you are listening, if you're listening, it's just indiegogo.com/projects/crips-legends-1, and that will get you there. So go check it out, you guys. Anyone who's listening here, Stephen is certainly a frequent participant here and has a lot of fun. So I don't know, Stephen. Stephen says why won't it show up on YouTube? I don't know the answer to that. I guess YouTube just won't allow links. I don't know. I can't. That's above my pay grade. Tommy, this page is looking fantastic, man.
I appreciate it. I want everybody to see it. It is now done. So going on, just a quick glance. Here's page 4.
Nice. Oh, nice. Oh, listen, look at. Oh, let's see that. Look at that middle panel. I love the way Pete does that.
That's cool.
That crash.
Crash.
Yeah.
And I take out crash and put kablam across. Don't tell Pete. Don't tell Pete.
No.
I love this first panel. This first panel looks nice.
I do too. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. That was It's lettered too, so I have to dig up the letters.
I gotta fix these Christmas trees. They all got blended together I'll fix it before I send it on to you, Miss Roberta. Give me a minute and I'll finish it. But it's done.
I love the little
it looks great.
The glows
it's fun
on the lights.
watching it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice color hold right there.
Yeah. And I say this because I like it, but those little glowy things where the lights are reminds me of some Simonson work.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. He has those lens flares and stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. So, Hyper Potato. Oh, Hyper Potato, what's up? He says, I'm late. This page looks great. Yes, we agree with you. And Hyper Potato, if you missed it, this is actually it's from the Cat and Mouse story that will be in the Christmas special. So those are.
Here's what my problem is.
What's your problem?
There's this tree right here. I need a fix.
Okay.
Just a little. All right. Whatever you do.
Jackson says, hey, Titan's Tower. You know what? I actually briefly thought that. Go back to that very first panel, Tommy.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. That was one of the things. That was one of the things I thought when I was like, hey, that's kind of Titan's Tower.
a big gravestone, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll put RIP on it, right? Infravan says, yeah, I'm never competing. I just want to tell stories. Haha. And that's the way it should be. Just tell stories and have fun. I honestly believe, Infrafan, I honestly believe when you have fun, it's reflected in the work. I don't know what kind of hoodoo magic is involved, but I think that when you have fun, like I just look at these pages here, like right now, I look at this page. I had fun writing that. I can tell Pete had fun penciling it. I know because we've heard Tommy talking about it. I know Tommy's had fun inking it. And it goes to Roberta next. So
yep. And I'll have fun coloring it.
Yeah. So I think that I really believe that, and you can't prove to me otherwise. So I think when you have fun, I think that it's reflected in the work. Our Potato says, I'm so excited about the Christmas special, backed on Indiegogo this time. Oh, thank you, sir, so much. Yeah, we I'm thank you for backing on the God, just for Jackson's comment. Thank you for backing on Indiegogo. We are working hard to make inroads over there. We know there is a huge comic community there, and we just gotta make our presence known to them, because we believe, and I'm hoping that you would agree. We believe that they'll like what we're doing, because I think they like comics, and I mean they like comic books. So I think that they would like what we're doing, and I'm excited to get the Christmas special into your hands. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you're familiar with. Obviously, Divinity will be there, Kalis, Cat and Mouse, Demon. Demon's got his own story in it, which you saw Roberta coloring on. But then there's a lot of new stuff you'll be introduced to, a lot of new projects that are hopefully we'll see first issues next year, like the Obsoletes. White Devil will be there. Of course, you'll get to see his White Devil's Kickstarter next month. Before it. Jackson said, Roland, you thought the castle building was a bat building. I actually did. When Jackson said something, I'm like, hey, what's the bat building doing there? That's oh no, actually I said, what's it? Why are they in Nashville, right? And he goes, no, that's New Orleans. So all right, so we got to get out of here, guys. I got 10:01. Yeah. Steven's last comment here. I am now working on issue 2 of CNL, and I'm working on another comic number 1 that I'm not going to reveal yet, but you already know the name. It's one that you've I think hinted at here earlier. And that's the trick, Steven, and also Infrafan, if you'll still listen, you just gotta, like Curtis said, you gotta put one foot in front of the other, and you just gotta keep doing it. You gotta practice. It's gotta be important to you enough that you do it every single day. You gotta practice. Roberta.
Yes.
Where can folks find you online?
You can find me under Roby Conroy on Instagram and on Facebook, and anywhere on Sunday nights here at Silverline.
Excellent. So that was Roberta. She went first. Look at that. I learned that I can do this, right?
You have
so Tommy.
Just go to infernostudios.com. You can find some links there. I'm on the TikTok thing under Tommy Don't TikTok, and you can also I got an Instagram thing. I should do more stuff on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
And then Facebook and over at Kablam. Anybody need any questions or have any questions? Just shoot it. Hit us up. We'll definitely answer any questions there too.
Okay.
Curtis, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Sure. So you can find me 2 separate routes for martial arts, Tiger Crane 805 on Instagram and YouTube, Tiger Crane Kung Fu on Facebook. You guys are killing me right now. And then for my comic book, Shadow Ghost Comic. Shadow Ghost Comic on Instagram and on Facebook.
I
Is
think I
that good
probably
form,
would.
Thomas?
I got through that.
I would break something. I think if I
You know, I worked really hard to get something to. This is why I was trying to download stuff off my phone. So hopefully, I'll have it next time. Oh, before I forget, guys, we're not gonna do a live next week. It's gonna be Halloween, and so several of us are not going to be available. I'm going to figure out how to put. I'm going to see figure out how I can put a rerun up here. So maybe.
Okay.
I wish I could talk some of these video editing folks into making a best of, but that would take a lot of time. Probably couldn't do it by next week. So
Okay.
we will be taking next week off, but we'll put some probably some rerun video up here for you so that you can still get your helping of Silver Sunday next Saturday night. Next Sunday night, Saturday night.
Excellent.
And I'm Roland. You can find me on all the appropriate interweb places, Twitter, Twitch. I do have a shoot, what are we talking about? Curtis left.
Where to find you?
Yeah, well, I do. He hit the wrong button.
Here.
I do have a TikTok,
Oh.
which I don't ever do. Curtis hit the wrong button.
I like what you did with Grogu there. All right.
All right.
All right.
So until next time, remember to
make
Make
life
Silver
life.